since we are now at Qumran, and you've been digging here for 10 years, for the last 10 years, because I heard one famous pastor in Hong Kong saying that the Dead Sea Scroll was discovered by Bedouins. They are not professional. So why can Naimi, being a non-professional, find something important? So I think you have just answered.
Well, of course, when the Bedouins found it, they cut them into pieces, or they took them to the markets to sell them, or I've talked to some of the Bedouins. In fact, we have working with us the son of the head of the Bedouin tribe who discovered the scrolls. And they didn't know what to do with them. They hung them up in their tents and they messed with them. So, I mean, we're fortunate to have them because they found them, but archaeologists came behind them and did the solid work. Now, to my knowledge, NAMI has never involved a true professional. I mean, there are Turkish archaeologists who they've worked with. Oktay, for instance, from Istanbul University, but he's a nice man, and he has looked at some of the things and just kind of tipped his hat to them. But of course, he's never been to the site. They've never taken anybody to the site to actually confirm these things. And that's what is required. So here, we have to do everything correctly. I mean, we're judged by that. We have a legitimate permit. We have people who inspect our work. We have to measure and document and publish everything, or it's not accepted. And that's the way this should be done as well. It shouldn't be done by simply media people. The only people that go shouldn't be publicity people, non-professionals. It's very easy to include in the team an archaeologist, a geologist, someone who is trained, and then when they see this, they could do testing on site, or they could take their own independent pictures, not just the ones that NAMI's published. By the way, they've never had any different pictures. The pictures I saw in 2008 are the same pictures they're using. There's no different pictures, you know, and they've been to this structure since then, so why not have some new pictures? Now, they have some film pictures of getting into this hole, but you don't see any new pictures of the actual structure. And to me, that means that this is more a publicity thing that's been staged.
Okay, so, can you just briefly describe what you have discovered here in the past 10 years?
In 10 years of excavating here, our attempt was to uncover what the Qumran community did on this barren plateau. And we found it wasn't barren. One of the things that they've done is bury the remains of meals, communal meals. There were an animal that were eaten, and then they were placed in the cooking pots and the bowls and cups and dishes and everything they used to serve the meal, and buried out here on this plateau. And they did this because it was a sacred meal. They couldn't reuse the pottery for common use, and so they buried it away, very much like they did the vessels from the temple that were used for sacrifices. This is the only place in all of Israel, perhaps in all the world, that this kind of thing has ever been seen. So it's a unique focus of study. And from it we can understand, I think, that they had a hope in the coming of the Messiah, that they were anticipating this, and a victory celebration, a messianic banquet that would be had at the end of the age, and so therefore they were rehearsing this in some way through this communal meal. Now, that's not been fully studied, that's just my opinion at this point, but my job is to get the evidence so that others can study and make a conclusion. And in terms of NAMI, what they should be doing is getting the primary evidence. It should be revealed and made public to the people who are most capable of handling that, the scientist, the archaeologist, the geologist, so that then they can make a proper statement about this. Instead, they've taken this to private labs in Iran or somewhere like this. They've hidden the results. Some of the results which don't work, they haven't made public. Some of the ones they like, they have made public. You know, no one's been allowed to study the wood independently of them. That kind of thing only breeds suspicion. And certainly there's no reason why they couldn't take a professional team to that mountain, because at the elevation where their find is, it's very easy to get there. People go there every single day in the summer as they travel, so they can easily get there and see these things. And they should be able to do it in the summer when it's most accessible. But of course they can't because of the way they built the site, because of the nature of it. And I think any reasonable person, especially a Christian, our faith is based on fact. We just don't believe in Jesus because somebody wrote that in a book. We believe it because there are facts that support it, the facts of history. It happened, and therefore we believe it because God is true. All right, if this is a true find, then there's no reason why it shouldn't be, the evidence shouldn't be made available to everyone, why people shouldn't be able to come and see it. If it's only for making money and only for generating controversy, only for making movies, then that's what it is. But if it's truly something that the world needs to know, that will bring the world to understand the truth of the Bible, then it has to be done properly, and there has to be accountability, and there have to be people involved who can be trusted by others, not just NAMI. And that, of course, has not been done. And I know why it's not been done, because I really truly believe that this is a scam that Parachute brought to pass. The degree to which NAMI was complicit, I don't know, but I know that they should know the truth now, because people like Andrew Snelling, Australian geologist, has explained very clearly the results of their testing. They have seen so much that other people have put forth. I've given the results of Parachute's various pictures and shown how those are fraudulent. They should at least admit that there's a reason for questioning this data, and not to go on with further campaigns and even make greater movies of it to continue this until they know for sure.